guys, how's it going? Today I'd like to share with you 3 bookish dilemmas that have been occupying my mind for a while, and I want to know your thoughts about them. My first bookish dilemma is, does the author's personal life should interfere with my views about his or her work? I've been thinking about this because a couple months ago, I acquired a first edition of this book. This is The Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley, a book that I really enjoy. I always wanted a nice copy of it, and I started wanting to own a first edition, and I was so happy when I got it. But the thing is, I always knew that Marion Zimmer Bradley's husband, he was convicted as child abuser, and but after a comment here on the channel, someone told me, Google Marion Zimmer Bradley and read the most recent news about her. But Marion Zimmer Bradley has been dead, and I was like, well, maybe something about her husband. And I ended up knowing that in 2014 her daughter revealed that she suffered sexual abuse from 3 to 12. In the fantasy sci-fi community, people were like really sad about it, because Marion Zimmer Bradley is a award winner writer. Her books influenced many other fantasy and sci-fi writers, and she is known because her work deals with feminist matters. For example, The Mists of Avalon is a retold story of King Arthur and his knights from the point of view of strong women. So after I read about this issue of sexual child abuse, it spoiled the book forever. I don't think I'll ever be able to read this book again, because I look to it now and I'm like, oh crap. Have you thought about how an author's personal life and lifestyle and opinions and thoughts and actions could interfere with your own thoughts about his or her work? Because now Marion Zimmer Bradley works, to me, they are completely spoiled. Yeah, it's impossible not to think differently about what she wrote. And my second bookish dilemma is more shallow, but it's so polarizing that I'm always interested to know, what do you think? The bookish dilemma is, should I ruin my book with ex-libris or book plates? The thing is, I've been putting my name on my books like forever. A couple of years ago, I used to write them, and I have a nice calligraphy, but sometimes, it doesn't work well. And I decided to make a little stamp with my name, a really simple stamp, a really unpretentious one, and I started stamping my books instead of writing my name. And this is almost like a heresy for some people, and I know plenty of people who hate the idea of putting his or her name, or writing or stamping or embossing, And I have this feeling that when I look at my books and I think on them without my stamp or without my mark, my name, I think that this room, it feels like more a bookshop, not a personal library, Because when books are unmarked, they are like almost ready to sell. So it's like I'm buying books to sell them in the future, and I absolutely hate this idea. There's something personal on each of my books, and when I think about a book unmarked, I think that this book is like an impersonal object. But anyways, when people ask me, I'm always like thinking about, well, when it comes to some really expensive copies, I don't have like the really expensive ones, okay? But some books here are expensive, and I've been thinking maybe I should stop marking them. Maybe I should stop stamping them. As I told you, I imagine books as personal objects, and when I think about them unmarked, they are like very impersonal. But on the other side, book plates, they can devalue the book, you know, in the future. In the future, if you want to sell them. And the only way they don't devalue a book is if you are someone famous, you know? If you are famous, your book plate will increase the value of the book. So I don't plan selling my books ever, and if a grandson or a son sell them, shame on them. But if they sell them, and if they sell them cheap, it's their problem, and I hope they sell them cheap for someone who will value the books. The only copies that I don't put a book plate are my vintage copies, because they had previous owner, and some of them are inscribed, and the inscriptions are so lovely. I love reading this note from 1938 during Christmas, no matter how fancy they are. A book plate, I don't think it devalues the object, but when it comes to secondhand market, it does. I know people who enjoy writing on books, no matter how expensive, no matter how special the book is, they feel that there's an ownership process related to it. So I think this is, I'm totally okay with it. On the other side, I totally agree that there is something special about a completely new and unmarked book. So I guess I'm in the middle. I enjoy putting my book plate, my ex-libris on it, but writing on more expensive books and marking more profoundly, it's not something I'll do. Let me know your thoughts about it. And now for the third and last dilemma. I think that this is the most complicated one, and it's the following question. Should I worry about ethical implications related to book production? Recently I read a discussion about books being produced in China. To be completely honest, I don't have an opinion about this, okay? I guess that we all should care more. At least we should try to know more about book production, about the materials, about how they are produced, where they are produced, about fair trade, you know, things like that. And I confess that I've been failing on this regard. The only thing that I try to research more is about animal products being used on books, on everything else, you know. I try to avoid buying leather. So in this regard, I'm completely alone, because book collectors and people in general love nice quality leather products. And being a book collector or a beginner in this world of book collecting and not buying leather-bound copies is something really eccentric. And recently I did a video about this copy here. It's a Barnes & Noble collectible classic, and the name is Leather-Bound Classics. But I was really sure that these books weren't made with real leather. And I did a video and someone, are you really sure? And I was like, well, let me double check it. And I ended up knowing that this book here and these leather-bound classics books, they are made with synthetic products and leather scraps. So it's not like real leather, you know, high quality leather. But anyways, it contains animal products, and I was pissed with myself because I should have researched better before buying 3 copies that were made with animal products. And people in general don't care about it, but I do. And I enjoy thinking that my library reflects who I am, what I think about the world, and I think that I should probably be thinking more deeply about many other questions, many other subject matters. For example, why buy new books when you can buy second-hand copies or borrow from the library? Or about buying books by big chains instead of local bookshops? If you have this option, you know, and thinking more about fair trade and many other topics that are really relevant. It's hard to do everything right. So this is what I wanted to share with you today, and I really want to know your thoughts on these 3 topics, these 3 bookish dilemmas. First, does the author's personal life should interfere with my view of his work or her work? 2, should I ruin my books with book plates or ex-libris? 3. Should I worry about ethical or moral implications related to book production? So I look forward to reading your comments, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.